such an amazing story, and to be able to be a part of it, how'd you feel when you got the nod that, hey, you're gonna get this role?
Well, I was finishing Hateful Eight, so it was a very different role. You know, I was playing this bombastic guy with this huge mustache in the Old West and blah, blah, blah. Having a grand time. And I read this, and this was sort of the opposite. It was a very real story of a real disaster that nobody knew anything about. All we knew there was an oil spill, and shrimp were dying. And I didn't know that 11 people had perished, and that there was a gigantic explosion that should have killed everybody on the rig, but over 100 people survived it. I started thinking about those people that were on that rig and saying, how would you feel if that was you? And I thought, that's just, something's weird there. And I'd like to be a part of telling that story, because it's one you don't know that you think you do know.
You're like the go-to hero guy now. Like, everyone should just hire you to be the hero in every single movie, I think.
Well, no, because I can't wear a cape, so a lot of heroes now wear capes. A regular guy, blue-collar guy, hard-working, every man, I can certainly identify with those parts, and I like making those kind of movies. Those are the kind of movies that I grew up watching.
For me, I was really representing the families that were in the dark for so many hours, not knowing really what was going on, and whether or not their family member was going to come home. And so it was important for me to make sure that I respectfully portrayed that properly, even though it was Felicia's story that I was portraying. Really, as a whole, it's what it felt like on the other side.
In this role, you play this badass, and you're doing all this stuff. What was it like transforming into this character?
Well, I love Jane so much, and I love to play Jane, and now we're on our 3rd season. It's incredible to live in that fantasy world, but I am very, very different from Jane. I think I would definitely be a lot closer to Andrea Fleitas than I am to Jane. So it was nice to be able to show my daily life strengths that I think I have, that I was able to carry over into this character. And it's always great to be able to stretch your wings and to be surrounded by such giants. I learned something from each and every one of them, and that was pretty badass.
I felt a way about him just because after all this, and he knows something's going wrong, right? And then he's like, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna have faith in my team. He goes to take a shower.
Yeah, there's a lot of miscommunication in that scene without it, without it taking place. We worked hard on that scene. And it was important to this movie that if you look closely there, a question is asked, an answer is not given, and yet an answer was received. And it's a big part, I think, of what was going on. It was just that perfect storm, that something was heard to be an okay, but there was never an okay.
Near the end, when you and Gina are on the rig and you guys are climbing up, all this explosion going on, when you are in that mode, right, and you feel that heat on your neck, what goes through your mind?
Man, just get out of here safe. I got a wife and kids at home. My wife would be really upset if she realized what I was doing.
Peter is all about realism, so there's there's explosions going off, and there's debris being thrown, and the handlebars are hot, and you could feel the heat on your neck, and you're racing up these stairs what you saw was totally what we were racing up. We were racing up flights of stairs, and so, he puts you as much into it as possible.
One of my other favorite moments, because he's not getting home to see his wife and kids, but he's also not gonna leave her there, and she's got no chance to survive unless they're going that way.
I think what I like about this film when I read it was it sort of focuses on the other aspect of what was going on that kind of got lost inside of the enormity of the environmental disaster.